pressure. She's sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battling. The players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. McMullen up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
Well, here on Chiefs Rewind, we're across the Hudson from the skyline of New York City here in the Meadowlands, which has been a rough place for the Chiefs down through the years. Rough tonight, but the Chiefs win 23-20. Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs along with Matt McMullen, senior team reporter. I've learned in my brief 30 years in this league, Matt, you never get fussy about winning. Take this one and get out of here.
Yeah, a win is a win. It wasn't pretty by any means, but the Chiefs held on, and they found a way. I feel like this is the same thing we said after the Jacksonville victory. There's no style points in the NFL. It doesn't matter how many points you win by or how the game went. If you win the game, that's all that matters. The Chiefs found a way in the end. A gutsy, gritty win for the Chiefs here tonight.
I'm going to zero in on 3 consecutive defensive stands the Chiefs made, when it was either 20-20 or 23-20, and the Jets could have taken the lead. And they got the ball in great field position 3 different times. They're in the middle of the field between their own 45 and the Chiefs 45 and 40. The Chiefs forced a punt, and got a fumble recovery by Turk Wharton. Those 3 series, you mentioned the Jacksonville comp, it felt like that to get those stops there because the game could have been very different.
Just huge stops by the defense there to pick up the offense, which was reeling a bit at that point. Think about the very first drive that you're talking about where New York punted. Great tackle by Mike Edwards on 3rd down to make sure that New York didn't get a first down. The second drive, Breece Hall had a 43-yard run to midfield. Brian Cook made a touchdown-saving tackle on that drive. It'll be forgotten in the stat sheet, but if New York scores in that possession, who knows what happens? Instead, Mike Edwards, again, in coverage on 3rd and 11, forces a punt. Then, of course, on that 3rd possession, you're talking about Zach Wilson fumbled the ball.
And the Chiefs had the ball on the offensive side. They had the ball in the last 18-14 of the game. They had the ball 14 minutes and change. They get a 3rd and 23, 26-yard scramble from Mahomes, sets the all-time Chiefs quarterback rushing record. And then a 3rd and 20 hold on Sauce Gardner, automatic first down.
That first scramble by Patrick Mahomes is why he's the best player in the NFL. Sure, it wasn't his night statistically. Doesn't matter. He flushes it. He does not care. He finds a way to win the game in the end for his team. That's what he did here tonight. And also, of course, the scramble on 3rd down to end the game at the very end.
This game is also about Isaiah Pacheco. 100 yards rushing in this game, a 48-yard pop for a touchdown in the first quarter. The Chiefs jumped out 17-0. But a big night for Pacheco in front of his home area. This was huge for Pop.
He had a very nice game here tonight, maybe the best game of his young career. He had 20 rushes for 115 yards, also 3 catches for 43 yards. You mentioned the 48-yarder early in the game. Don't forget about the 13 tough yards he had on that final possession for the Chiefs.
And again, the Chiefs show some toughness and some intelligence. Mahomes goes down at the 2. Just like McKinnon did in Super Bowl 57, almost the exact spot of the field.
And he was fired up, right? He just wanted to get out of here with the victory. That's all he cares about. Mahomes was really fired up throughout that 15-play drive. That's, again, why he's the best player in the NFL. He doesn't care what happens early in the game, doesn't care about throwing some interceptions. He keeps firing, and in this case, he used his legs to win the game for the Chiefs.
Chiefs win at 23-20. Let's go to the podium.
What did this one mean? It means a lot to me and the team. Most definitely picking up one another, playing hard for each other. Great team over there.
And what about you coming here for this game?
Oh, it was a great feeling. Never been in a stadium before. I've been in the Philly Stadium. First professional real football game inside the stadium. It was a great feeling. And blessed to see my family here supporting me. And not only that, get a victory.
How many times did you imagine scoring a touchdown here in MetLife, and how did it feel once you got into the end zone?
I didn't really picture it, but you know, focusing and staying patient and just listening and doing my job, it allowed me to get in the end zone and finishing with the guys up front.
It's a really big team win as well. How big is this for you guys moving forward, do you think?
Oh, it's awesome. It shows you how much we play for one another, and not only that, we got a lot of more ball to play and a lot of more time to build with each other.
How hard a grind was this tonight?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
How hard a grind was this tonight?
Oh, it was a lot of hard grind. Every time I got in the huddle, I was telling the O-line, let's strain, let's finish. And, that was the mindset.
You had a lot of extra energy coming in, it seemed like, tonight. Did you feel that?
Oh, yeah, I felt good tonight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt light on my feet, back to the process rolling.
You You told us earlier this week, when you're getting ready to score, your celebration kind of goes through your head. What were you thinking about as you were running to the end zone?
Hey, when I was running there on that one, that was a long one, so I wasn't thinking about nothing. I'm like, sheesh, just let me get in there.
That's it.
Were you impressed by the defense? Was it better than what you thought?
Absolutely. The defense up front, very hard. They played very solid, and for us, just finishing. That was the mindset of the offensive line, finishing.
So you guys killed the last, I think, 7.5 minutes of the game with the ball. You did the same thing in Jacksonville. Why have you guys been so good in those situations?
It starts in practice. Practicing those situations when we're getting down to it, and listening to Pat on this calls and making sure that we play for one another.
Isaiah, can you describe the push-ups? What was going on?
Oh yeah, I was a little slow getting up there, so I had to get my juice back.
Last one.
Isaiah, Andy said that Patrick said something in the locker room at halftime. What did he tell you guys, and what was his mentality kind of coming into the last few minutes of that game?
Way to play for each other, both sides of the ball, and this half when we go out there, let's just keep building and play for one another, make plays. That's the goal and the mindset we got.
What a night for this young man who's from New Jersey, the pride of Vineland, New Jersey. That's what I said on his 48-yard touchdown run. Let's start with that. First and foremost, what were you seeing? How did that open up?
I was a patience at the hole. Shovel, sit it down, sit in a chair. That was the footwork. Read the O-line up front. Great scheme we had set up. It was blocked perfectly like in practice. When we practice hard, it happened in the game the same way we drew it up at practice. And for me, it's finished. That was the mindset tonight of the offense. And the same thing, every drive we got it, finish.
How big was this win, though, for you personally? How many people did you have here tonight?
At least like 10 plus, so it was very big. Couldn't lose one in Jersey.
I never come back here, right? You had the big, we showed it on the franchise, your great summer event here. But just the fact that you had to gut this out. 14 minutes you had the ball at the end to gut it out and take the game back from them. What about just kind of the guts shown in this game?
That's the mindset. When you're in those last 4 minutes, it's very hard. Guys going after the ball, trying to get it back to their team. So for me, in the offense, Pat tells you 2 hands on it and get the first down. Let's win the game.
Not only can Isaiah Pacheco run it, he can catch it. What about your catch earlier? You and I talked about this in the offseason and at training camp, just how that is a big ceiling for you in this game.
Just finding ways to get open. And for Pat, he loves looking down the field. So if you can get in that vision and get in that window of the vision, you'll get it. So for me, just finding ways to keep building this thing.
And it was awesome. You went out of bounds late, and then the next time you stayed inbounds. Walk us through that sequence.
Hey, that's the 4-minute drill. We do it in practice. Stay in bounds, keep the clock rolling. Just know the situation.
So in the National Football League, you've been around this long enough now, 17-0 lead, but it can flip on a dime. What about how this game is flipped and you guys had to fight back?
That was a great defense over there. They fought very hard, great offense, and that's what it takes. It takes a team, and tonight we played as a team, as a unit, and fought for one another, and it showed at the end.
And in the huddle, in that when you had the ball for the last 14 minutes or so, what was the discussion and the talk between you guys?
Hey, if you get a chance to score that thing. For me, Pat, you want me to go down? Score it. So just trying to get in there and find ways to get in the end zone, but most importantly, stay in bounds and know the situation.
And then Pat stayed in bounds at the 2.
Yes, sir. He knew the situation, and that's what we practice, and it happens in the game, of course.
And what does this mean to gut this one out, to go to 3-1 and get ready to go to Minnesota?
On the road, 2 games in a row, it's very tough when you're on the road. So for us, just getting that mindset is building off of each other's energy and playing for one another.
And finally, the way you 3 running backs working together as a team, how's that going?
It's going great. We got 3-headed monster back there. Got Jet, Clyde, just building off of one another and just as a brotherhood back there. Next man up, we're cheering for each other. Let's get in the end zone.
He is the pride of Vineland, New Jersey, and he just won a game in Jersey, 23-20. Isaiah Pop Pacheco.
Success that one, especially individual too.
It was definitely a fight. We came out hot, obviously struggled. I made 2 just bad throws where I was trying to lay it over a linebacker and a safety, and I just didn't throw it far enough and hit the dude right in the chest. Stuff that you can't do. But I was proud of how the guys fought. Obviously the defense kept us in it. And then the offense had 2 drives in the fourth quarter where we had sustained drives, and that's a good defense. So I'm proud of that, but obviously a lot to learn from and a lot to correct.
Patrick, you guys killed the last, I think, 7.5 minutes with the ball, similar to the way the Jacksonville game ended. Why have you guys been so good in those situations?
Yeah, it's just guys responding. Obviously, we didn't play to our level in that kind of that second, third quarter. But guys responded and kept just pushing. And that's good things to see. I mean, a little similar to last year. It's not always going to be pretty for 4 quarters, especially when you're playing a good defense like that. But whenever the opportunity arises, it's about going down there and finishing. And obviously, we didn't do that in the first game, and I'm glad that we've been able to do that in these last few.
Patrick, it depends on what you do with this, right? Whether it serves you well to have a game like this. But what do you feel like in some way it does? I don't know if it's a reality check, but what is it? What does the game do for you, think?
Yeah, no, that's a good defense. I mean, I knew it was going to be a fight going against that defense. I thought it was kind of almost out of the norm to start that fast against them. But I think just learning, correcting, trying to learn from our mistakes. Obviously, I have to be better with the football. Can't turn it over and put that pressure on our defense, but they stepped up for me. And so it's football. It's NFL. And not everything's going to be easy. You have to find a way to win different ways, and I've learned that over my career.
Proving you can grind it out is meaningful. I mean, to do that the way the last quarter went.
Yeah, no, proving you can grind it out. I think proving that you can have 2 or 3 quarters where you literally aren't scoring. You're not scoring. Nothing's going well. And how do you guys respond whenever the going gets tough? And I thought the guys responded well, and we were behind the chains a lot, even on those drives, and we were able to fight our way to get those first downs. And so it definitely was a tough battle, but I was glad we found a way to get the win.
What was the message from the coach at halftime?
I think it was just kind of let's just keep playing together, keep fighting. I knew, I took accountability on it. I knew I'd put us in 2 bad positions at the end of the half and in the early second quarter. And so I think just no one points fingers in that locker room. We all play together. Not everything's going to be pretty, but the guys responded, and we came together and found a way to get a win.
Patrick, you said that the guys responded. Andy said when you kind of get in that situation, you like to fix it. You like to fix things. How do you respond when things aren't working out the way that you're? Yeah,
I've just learned you can only control the next play. You can only go out there and do what you need to do for that next play. Nothing in the past matters. And I don't know if it's coming from Texas Tech or how I played growing up. It's just you keep throwing it. You keep putting it out there and let your guys have chances. You can't worry about the interceptions that have happened in the past. You have to keep fighting, and that's something that I believe in. And obviously, I try to be more careful with the football. But at the same time, I have to be me. I have to go out there and give guys chances to make plays. That's what I try to do.
Patrick, of course, you talk about being you. Right, and you pick up everyone when things aren't going right. But who picks you up? Is it the coach or is it another?
I think it's just the whole team. Honestly, it's everybody. No one ever points fingers on this team. I don't think not just me. I think at everybody. If something goes bad, you pick that guy up and you keep fighting. And that's why I think we've won a lot of football games here. Is that it doesn't always have to be perfect, but we're going to respond and have each other's back. And that's what makes great football teams.
Patrick, that 25-yard run you had on that last drive, that was obviously a big play, but you were particularly fired up when it was over. Was there something else behind that?
Yeah, we just needed that. We needed that play in that time. We were trying to get into field goal range. We're trying to do what we can to keep the defense off the field. They've been playing their tail off in that second half. I'm a little upset. I kind of stumbled. I was thinking I could maybe get around the side a little bit. It was a big first down, and then we were able to kind of keep it moving down the field. I've told a lot of people, I'm faster than people think. I don't run pretty, so people think I'm slow, but I move a little bit better than people think.
Patrick, it's the 2 interceptions that you touched on briefly. It's kind of similar plays, it looked like, but I'm wondering if you could just take us through what you saw.
Yeah, it's just being greedy, man. Just got to throw the ball away. They covered both the plays well, but instead of just throwing the ball away, I try to make perfect throws where I tried the one to Noah. I saw the guy underneath it. I thought I could throw it to the sideline, him or nobody, maybe catch it on the sideline, first down, and obviously didn't throw it good enough, hit the dude right in the chest. And the same with Travis. We're in that situation where I'm trying to get at least Harrison in field goal range, and they're dropping for depth. And I thought Trav had beat his guy, but the whole player was there. And I thought I could throw it over him, and obviously I couldn't. And so he made a good play on it. And so it's just you just got to know when you can take those chances. And obviously at those points in the game, I can't do that. I got to throw the football away and just live to play another play.
All right, we're going to go these 3 gentlemen in the back, and we're going to finish up here.
Patrick, are you satisfied with the way the team's come around here in the first month of the season?
Yeah, It's always good when you find ways to win. I think I've learned in my 6 or 7 years, it's you can win pretty, but you have to win ugly too in order to win Super Bowls. And so for me, it's always, even though I hate it while it's happening, I feel like it makes you better in the end if you win games like this where not everything's going perfect. And so we did that last year, and we're going to try to do that again this year, and then try to keep getting better. And so we're playing our best football at the end of the season.
Patrick, first time playing at MetLife, what was the atmosphere like?
No, it was awesome, honestly. I got to come here for my first year twice, two times in 3 weeks, but obviously didn't get to play in the game. But the atmosphere was awesome Sunday night. I mean, from the intros all the way to the end of the game, the fans were in it. And my dad played for the Mets, and so I know the fans really support their teams. And so I was glad to be here and get to play in the same state and kind of the same type of fan base that my dad played in.
Follow up on that was like Isaiah Pacheco kind of coming back to New Jersey, just his game, the way he played today in front of the fans that he grew up with.
Yeah, no, he's I call him, he's Jersey's own, man. He went to Rutgers. He played in Jersey. He loves it. Kind of how I am with Texas. He has a lot of pride in it, and so I could see it from the first snap. You could see it in his eyes, like this meant more to him, and he did a great job catching the ball, running the ball. I mean, he put up great. I haven't looked at the stats, but put up great stats and made some big runs when we really needed them.
Last three, Adam. Patrick, you got the 200 TD record tonight. Does that, number one, does that mean anything? And number two, did you keep the ball?
I don't even. What is the record?
200.
Yeah, I mean it means a ton because I guess the people that are on the list, the quarterbacks that have came before me, I mean, you just got to keep going. I mean, the game has changed, so I think someone will pass me before too long. And so you just go out there and keep playing. And the one thing that doesn't change is Super Bowls, so I'm going to try to keep getting those.
Last two. Hey, going back to that run, were you surprised that it was just wide open up the middle? It was so wide open, I feel like I could have ran out.
No, the offensive line, first off, did a good job blocking. That pass rush is, I mean, it's one of the top in the NFL, if not the top. And it kind of opened up, but there was a lot of attention, which, I mean, while there was a flag, there was a lot of attention on Travis, which is, I mean, important. And so once he kind of went to the right, he took like 3 people with him, and it opened up for me. And so, like I said, I'm a little faster than people think I am. So maybe one day I'll get a spy. That's my goal. If I can get a spy, that I'll know I've made it.
Patrick, talk to some of your teammates that talked about going to the halves, some adversity. Talked to Trini, talked about Chris Jones and Spags talking about brotherhood. After a quarter of the season's already gone, what's the character to make with a team that you see? You talked about adversity and the different type of wins that you all have. Give us an idea what the character of this team is going for.
Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of the guys, even though they're young, we've been together now. We've played in a lot of different style of football games, and we've gotten better from it. And so whenever, like I was saying earlier, I mean, like whenever stuff's going bad, no one's pointing fingers. I just believe the defense is going to get a stop when we need to get a stop, and the defense believes in me that I'm going to find a way to get the offense going and score points. And every time we're walking in and kind of crossing from the defense going off and the offense going off both ways, it's like, hey, we got you, or hey, I got you right here. And I think that's a true brotherhood, is that we believe in each other whenever times are tough. That's why we find ways to win games like this.
All right, thank you.
Well, first I'd like to give hats off to Zach Wilson, the Jets offense, their OC Hackett. They had a great plan, and for as much criticism as they've taken, I thought Zach came out and made some really, really good throws. I thought he competed, and I thought their entire offense competed. The world champs coming into your house, and the way they competed down 14 or 17 points, hats off to those guys. They really gave us a tough battle tonight. It was a good one.
Drew, what does it do for you to win a game like this, kind of grind it out as opposed to putting it away early?
Yeah, I think to be a world champion, you have to be able to win in a lot of different styles, and every game is going to be different. Last week we jumped out to a big lead against Chicago, and we're able to hold on to that and kind of make them one-dimensional on offense. This week we jump out to a big lead. Suddenly their defense bows up, gets a safety. We're on our heels. Pat throws a couple interceptions. They get a couple turnovers, playing good ball on defense, and now we're forced in a tough game, close game there in the fourth quarter. So you just got to learn to win a lot of different ways, and we were able to do that tonight.
You guys recovered that fumble. There was like 7.5 minutes left, and you didn't have to go back on the field. What's that like, watching the offense kill that much time?
Well, that's why 15 is the greatest in the world. Is even even on a night when he throws 2 or 3 picks, whatever it was, for him to be able to convert on 3rd and 20 with his legs, for him to be able to convert on 3rd and 8 down there to close out the game, it speaks to the toughness of our offensive line. It speaks to the toughness and the grit of the entire offensive personnel, and then the belief this organization has in 1-5 to get the job done. He was able to get it done. Outstanding job of the offense there in the fourth quarter to close the game out.
Drew, was there something that happened, changed, like the turning point after the safety? Was there something that the offense was doing that you saw differently after that?
I just think it's a game of momentum, and I think the Jets were able to capitalize with some momentum there. They get 2 points, they get a turnover, they get a field goal. Now they're feeling it a little bit. Zach makes some incredible throws. They get down there on the goal line. They have some great play calls. Suddenly the game's 12 to 20 or 12 to 17, whatever it is, and it's a close ball game. So I think it's a game of momentum, and they were able to capitalize on the big plays they made tonight.
What did you guys do to kind of come back, obviously, after halftime? Was there something you guys did differently or adjusted?
Well, I think defensively, right, they got us on our heels a little bit there towards the end of the first half. We were able to bow up there in the 2-minute, get the sack there to kind of end things and not let them get points on the board. I think the biggest thing with Spags came in the locker room and says, hey, we still have to play with the confidence and trust in one another that we've had throughout this entire season. And I think you saw that come out there in the second half, and we were able to close the door on them.
Jesse,
Hey, Drew, I don't know if you were around, but Andy said that Pat said something in the locker room to the guys after his 2 interceptions. If you were around, what'd you hear from him? And if not, I guess what'd you see from him after those 2 interceptions?
You talking about in the locker room after the game?
Or halftime. He said after the 2 interceptions, he just was talking to guys.
I think he just said, I've got your back, and I think everybody believes him when he says that, right? He's the best. He's the best at position. And whenever he has the ball in his hands, we have a belief that he's going to get the job done.
Drew, you talked about Zach a little bit. He had some up and downs, the first couple games of the season. Did he do anything special today?
Man, he played with good moxie, with good poise. He made some throws into some tight windows. One there on me to the tight end, back shoulder down the seam, incredible throw. I think he threw one on our other linebacker, Leo Chenal, great throw, back shoulder throw, and then he gets the throw to the tight end in the end zone to complete the drive. Was able to get the ball to Garrett Wilson, their best playmaker. And I thought, schematically they did a good job of getting him quick rhythm throws to get him going. But when it came down to it, he had to stand in the pocket a few times and make some tough throws downfield, and he did that. And I think we should all respect him for that. He got gutsy performance against the world champs coming in his house tonight.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Again, back here in the New York false start. Here we go. Back here again in the New Jersey, New York area, the Chiefs win it over the Jets, 23-20. Not the greatest game for Patrick Mahomes statistically. He was 9 of 19 at one point, but 8 of 9 on the drive that got the field goal to take the lead and eventually won the game.
Yeah, just to reiterate what we talked about earlier, he's the MVP of the NFL for a reason. The stats are shiny and exciting and nice, but the reason he's the best player in the NFL is he never gives up. He never thinks the game is over until the clock hits triple zeros, and he found a way in the end to win this game over and over again. Think about that 3rd and 23. What an epic 25-yard scramble. Then, of course, to end the game on 3rd and 8, a scramble that ends this contest. Amazing stuff from QB1. Again, he's the best player in the world for a lot of reasons, not just the stats. It's also what he does in crunch time.
Amazingly now, 67-17 in his 84 games, 200 career touchdown passes. That's an all-time NFL record. He takes out the great Dan Marino by 5 games to reach that benchmark, the earliest of any quarterback in NFL history.
And he did all of this against a really good Jets defense and a Jets squad that has nothing to lose. Let's be honest. I mean, they're trying to fight for pride here. They don't have anything to lose right now, and they had the Chiefs on the ropes there for a while. But what did Kansas City do? Did they curl up in a ball and say it's not our day? No, they found a way in the end. I can't emphasize that enough. That is what championship teams do.
And we take it for granted. But Harrison Butker this year is perfect. He's perfect. All of his kickoffs, all but one, have been a touchback. And he's not missed a field goal yet. He has been money in every one of these kicks.
We needed every one of those field goals here tonight as well. Big stuff from Harrison Butker here in this game because we had no opportunities, no chances for mistakes here at that point because the margin for error was already pretty slim as the game went on. Nails from Harrison Butker. He won this game tonight for us.
And give Turk Wharton credit to dig out that football to get a fumble recovery. That was enormous. Again, one of those 3 possessions the Chiefs were able to dig in and stop the Jets from seizing the game.
Well, we were in the booth talking about it. Like, just give us one turnover. Give us one chance to end this game, and Patrick Mahomes will not waste it. I'm sure he had the same mentality on the sideline. He didn't waste it. Orchestrates a 15-play drive to win the game.
And now at 3-1, the Chiefs go into a back-to-back road week now. They go take on the Minnesota Vikings, who today got a defensive score that salvaged them from going 0-4. It's a Viking team when you look at it with Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins is having a good statistical year. That team is capable.
Yeah, Minnesota is a lot better than their record says. The good news for the Chiefs is they don't take any of these things for granted. They're going to go into this game approaching it like Minnesota's undefeated, like they were last year, and hopefully they once again can find a way in that game as well. I'm going to enjoy this one tonight, though.
I shall on this ride home. But again, get ready for the Vikings game. We will get you ready for that game. Remember, defending the kingdom conversations. Everything is coming your way this week. Just follow us here at 65 TPT and with the Chiefs website and the app. Chiefs win it 23-20. Again, take this victory and run, everybody, as the Chiefs go to 3-1 on the season. For Matt McMullen, I'm Mitch Holthus. Get ready for Minnesota.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by CommunityAmerica Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.